Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me as part of your meeting this morning. Turn this down just a little bit. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. The last time I met with this group, I believe we were ITCs and T-Specs, because there were a lot more people than there are today. So I have all ITCs in here, correct? Okay, all right. I'll just kind of give you a quick recap of the presentation that I did back in January or February, I believe it was. The Office of Communications and Technology was tasked with providing or coming up with a solution to replace sort of the morning news type of equipment that schools were using. The traditional coax type systems with the blender tongue modulators and the fuzzy screen, because one end of the building the signal looked terrible and the other end of the building the signal looked fine. We were tasked with coming up with a cloud-based solution that we could use our existing IP network infrastructure to deliver video programming to individual classrooms at the schools. So it's been a long process getting to where we are now, but we have secured a contract with a company called Play On Sports. Now don't get too scared about the sports thing. They originally started as a sports video streaming company, and they partnered with all the high school leagues in the nation, including the Virginia High School League, to provide video streaming of sports events. So at the high school levels here now in the county, high schools already have this system. It was rolled out about 1.5 years or 2 years ago. I believe most of the high schools are using them. Some high schools, I think, aren't quite using them yet. Nevertheless, we are providing a system at no cost to you, the hardware, to every single school to allow you to do morning announcements, news. If the principals want to do a message and stream it out to classrooms or even the public, this system will allow you to do that. And there are a few, I believe, in here that were part of our pre-launch or pilot system who are already using the system. Now, I just want to have one little disclaimer. I know some of you have emailed me over the past couple of weeks and I have not returned your emails. I don't normally act like that or operate like that. I've been overwhelmed trying to get these systems ready to roll out. We were a little bit behind schedule. We wanted to do this time last week. We still had some hardware we had to procure that was on back order. So we finally have all that now. And what I'm going to do now is sort of just give you a quick overview of what the system looks like. We have, and this has been procured at no cost to you, a camera, a tripod, a capture device, which will convert the camera signal to digital, and also a laptop. In addition, there is a microphone that you will also get that you can use with the system. The way this system works with this capture device, it has the traditional RCA style plugs on it that you may be familiar with. So virtually any video signal that you send into this capture device, you can convert to streaming video. Some of the pre-launch schools have gotten really creative and have used existing video production software or presentation software that they may already have to sort of pre-produce video clips. You can do that. You can get as creative with this as you want. The really unique thing about our contract with Play On, they're in the middle of rebranding their school classroom type streaming system to what's called the School Broadcast Program, SBP. So what I'd like to do from this point forward is kind of forget about the media cart, because there really is no cart anymore that has components hardline to it. This is going to be the School Broadcast Program, or school streaming system. That way we're kind of all in the same language and we can communicate better, from this point forward. Another really powerful feature of this system is there's an application called Producer. That's sort of the application that connects this capture device to their system and allows you to convert the video. We can have Producer on an unlimited number of machines. So if you've got a lab that you would like to install this Producer software on, you can install it on as many machines as you want. So virtually every machine can become a content creator. You could stream. Some of the schools still have the traditional in-house broadcast system, channel 35, 36, 37, that type of thing. You really could have an unlimited number of channels using this system here because it's all IP based. So instead of having 5 channels, you could have 100 channels in your building. I don't really think you would need that many, but the point is you can install Producer on as many machines as you want. So we're not limited to just this particular laptop. I'm going to launch the Producer software. By the way, the training for this, there's really good intuitive tutorials on PlayOn's website, and I'll show you those. Those will take you step by step all the way through. I'm just going to kind of give you a quick overview of what it looks like so that when you get your systems, you'll know what you're actually looking at. By the way, these laptops have the county tag on it. They are completely up to spec as far as what our IT requirements are. They have Novell, they have Trend antivirus, and they have Lumention patching agent. Question? They will be on your inventory. I've created a master Excel spreadsheet, and I've talked to Vicki Short over in inventory control, and she wants me to forward her a spreadsheet that has the make and model, serial number, tag number, and who the system is going to. I'll be forwarding that to her, and she will be inputting each one, and they will show up on your inventory. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and launch Producer. I'll take a step back for a second. When you first power on your machine, excuse me, you'll want to have this connected to the hardwired county network, not wireless. You could use wireless, excuse me, you can use wireless, but the results are going to be unpredictable because we all know the wireless throughout the county is kind of, we have issues with it every now and then. So the hardline network would be the way to go. When you first power on the machine, you'll be presented with the Novell, the normal traditional Novell prompt. You'll log in with your Novell credentials. Novell will then create the local Windows user account that'll be on the laptop. So whoever you want in your building to use this system will need to log in with their Novell credentials. So I've launched Producer.
Can you log in as student?
I haven't tried logging in as student. You can try, but I don't think
Because teachers only have one login, so.
teachers only have a single login.
We got production teams going on, so we've got to have 10 or 15 kids to be working.
Okay.
We're going to need to have some type of added login to the program. Or have
Right, okay. I will follow up on that. For some reason, I was thinking each staff member had 2 logins, but that's not the case. Right. Okay. All right, I will check into that as soon as I finish the presentation today, because that is definitely an issue. I don't know why this is showing up so small. I think it's the resolution. But anyway, there's a little widget that pops up here. One has a camera that says live stream. One says on demand. One, I believe, says, I think it's files, media. All right, so let's try this again. I'm going to go ahead and launch Producer. Of course, it doesn't want to launch for me. I know that. Where is it? Hang on just a second. You won't experience this. I've been doing a lot of stuff with this particular laptop in testing, so I may have gotten it into a weird mood. Yeah, I figured if I had a team that would understand, you guys would be the ones. See, I'm not going to be able to do student-student on this because, all right. Let's see. So for the ones that are already using this system, I have a few in here. Have you guys had any particular problems that you're just banging your head against the wall saying, I can't stand this? Anybody in here? Uh-oh, I've got one hand up.
Well, we just had an issue that there's the lag time, and so when you use it as a live stream, it takes a while for the teachers to realize that if you're starting it at 8:10, you're really not showing it at 8:10, you're showing it at 8:11.
Okay.
And a lot of teachers are turning it off, saying it's not working.
Not working? Okay, that's a good question. Because, I'm sorry, y'all. This weather is killing my sinuses. Because this is a cloud-based system, it is going out to the internet, to the cloud, and then coming back in. So there will be times where the lag time or the delay may be as much as 30, 40, 50 seconds. That's just the nature of the IP system going out to the cloud and coming back. For uses, I think there's one school that's using it to do like a silent dismissal with buses, where they put up something on the screen, and if it's yellow, then the students go ahead and leave and go on out without actually a bell ringing. It's going to be a little bit difficult to use this system for that type of use just because of the delay. With any video streaming, you're going to have a delay. So if it gets to be an issue where it's more than 45 seconds to a minute, then please let me know, because I'll have to work with our IT staff to see if there's a way we can create a secure tunnel or a special tunnel for us to get out for just this particular traffic to play on. I'm sorry? Mhm. The lag will be less, because you'll just be coming back instead of going up and coming back. Okay, now I can get into the live stream. By the way, when you all leave and you get your gear, I'm going to have you give me your email address, telephone number, and the school that you're at. I have to send that information to Play On for them to create a unique account for you. There will be a specific username and password for Play On. You can have, we'll try to work on getting the student for Novell, but you will have to have a staff member username and password that will be for logging in. Question?
I'm part-time at two different schools, so the days I'm not there, the evenings broadcast. Will we each have our own logins, or will we share? Or can I just tell them, oh, we need to do this, and then we'll share? That's gonna start laundering.
It's because you're at two different locations. Your login, when you log in, you'll have access to the particular school that you're at. Now, in that case, I'm going to have to associate your account with two specific schools. So when you sign out the equipment today, put down which schools you're at. If you share schools, make sure you put down both schools. That way your login will reflect both schools, and you'll have access to both.
Will I get two sets of equipment, one for each?
Yes. Each physical building has their own gear.
Bart, okay, I might have missed something. So I don't do it. I'm a Patriot. I have a TV productions person.
Okay.
It could be my name or their name. They need to be able to log in.
Or a generic log.
Or generic.
When you leave today, we're going to create an account with your name. If that's not the case and we need to add somebody else, then put down the person who's going to be using the gear, if you know that. And in some schools, it's the librarian or the media specialist. But what I want to do today for sign-out purposes is at least get your gear specific to the school with somebody who's taken, who's held accountable for that equipment. Yes.
We've had a lot of trouble with buffering at our schools. Do you have any suggestions for that?
I don't have any specific suggestions just yet. I'll have to work with IT to, again, figure out if there's a certain amount of bandwidth that needs to be allocated specifically for traffic that's going to Play On. That's something we can do. When we actually had one of these systems about a year ago, and we did a load balance test. And IT assured me that we had plenty of bandwidth and that there shouldn't be too much buffering. Now, if that's the case now, then I'm going to have to look into that. I will definitely look into that. Because the last thing we want is to get you all pepped up with this gear, then you get back and it just sits there and buffers, and I'm not using this. I'm going to forget it and do something else. We don't want that to happen. Yes, yeah. And by the way, the support, the ongoing technical support for this system, for the software and for the streaming and all of that, Play On has a toll-free 24-hour-a-day hotline you can call. You would give them your name and the school that you're at, and they will help you. If it comes to equipment-wise, I mean, this is pretty consumer gear. So if the camera breaks, I'm not going to be able to replace it. It's a $299 camera. But for basic, I'm not sure what to do questions, you can always feel free to contact me. But if it's specific to, well, I don't understand this drop down in the content manager, I don't know what to do there with that. That would be a question directly for Play On. Was there another question? I'm going to try to log in so you all can see something.
You told us that is this a program we can load on multiple stations?
Yes.
So if we do that, do we log in every station with our login?
You can have multiple logins, so yes, you'll use the same credentials. I don't think that Play On is going to allow me to have a generic, like a student type login, mainly because this is streaming content that's going out to the world and coming back, and there's a chance that, if somebody got a hold of a generic username, there'd be no way to really track who actually, used it.
Is this system going to be different than the one that we're currently using for athletics?
Good question. The software is the same, but the licensing is different. With the high school systems, well, actually, let me take that back. High schools are going to have two separate systems. One that's already in their athletic department, and then one that will be used for morning announcements or library or whatever they want to do. For high school athletics, that's a subscription-based account. So anything that they produce, there will be a fee for the viewer to watch. And they already know all this through the original agreement that they had with Play On and the Virginia High School League. So for anybody who may be supporting the high school systems, it's all subscription-based. And I'll show you the portal.
The main reason why I asked that question though is because in the activity system, it does not function on the county's network. It has to be on the hotspot that the athletic department also purchased with the system. Is this one going to encounter that same?
This one, because it has Novell and the network software that's recommended or required, this will work directly on the School Vision network. The high school athletic ones I haven't had my hands on, so I'm not sure what their situation is. So you're saying you haven't had success using that system plugged into the county network?
Correct. Even on my ITC laptop, it will not.
Okay. Then what we're going to need to do in that case is get the Novell client installed, as well as Lumentia and Trend, if it's not already on there. The biggest thing is the Novell client, because that's where the user policies for getting out on the county network come through. And I found that out the hard way, because the original systems I sent out to Brian and some of those other guys at Bevel, they couldn't get on at all. And that was because the Novell client was not installed. So we had that installed. So that's probably the case for yours. Just have your T-Spec install the Novell client and the two other required Zen, Trend, and Lumentia, if it's not already on there. All right, let me get logged in here. Okay, so when you log in with your credentials, the first thing you're going to see is this general welcome screen. There are two different capture devices, two different brands, and we had an issue with getting the equipment because certain things were on back order. 5 of you are going to be getting this video capture card called an Elgato. It's just a USB dongle that has the RCA cables on the end of it. 77 of you all are going to be getting this one from StarTech. They function exactly the same, they're just different brands. So if you are one of the 5 that gets the Elgato, you would select Elgato Composite and then continue, and you move on to the next step. In my case here, I'm using the other unit, so I'm going to click on Advanced. It's already pre-populated this USB device that it recognizes. And all this is in the training tutorial. I'm just trying to hit the quick spots for a second.
Where's the training tutorial?
The training tutorial, once you log into the account, is on the support link. There's also on the desktop a folder called Play On Guides that has, it's essentially the tutorial, but it's not in video form, it's PDF. User guide, equipment suggestions, and I'll go into that in just a second. Quick start guide, production guides, lots of information you can go through to help you with getting started. And then also another folder with useful links, which there's speedtest.net if you wanted to check the speed to the internet because you're thinking everything is so sluggish. You click on speedtest.net and that will tell you what the speed is out to the web.
You make the adjustments to speed test and what the recommendations are in the guide, there's not a delay.
I'm sorry, say again?
If you go by the recommendations of speed test and then the recommendations of play on,
Mhm.
there is no delay. So like if you adjust your quality
Okay.
compared to what your bandwidth
Mhm.
information is, there is no delay.
There is no delay. That's a good point. Okay, so I'm going to click continue from here.
When you do speed test, and the first thing I would do is speed test, it'll tell you what your bandwidth is. In the guide for play on, there's a recommendation for the quality of the video. If you follow that recommendation of the quality of the video to your test of speed, it won't have a delay in it. If you go high quality but your speed's not right, that's going to be a delay.
I skipped a step in this whole process. I'm a little bit twisted up today because not to go into great depth, but I have some issues with my neck. I have some discs that have kind of ruptured and I'm in a lot of pain. But anyway, I'm trying to get through this. I kind of skipped a step when I started. The way the system operates, it operates on an event scheduling type of system. So if you wanted to schedule the morning news for tomorrow, you would go into the application called Manager, which is actually a browser-based application. And you would schedule an event. So if your news is tomorrow morning at 8:05, you would go in here and schedule the event. You would log in. You would go to, there's other events. If you were doing an athletic event, you would click on New Competition Event. But for your purposes here, it's New Other Event. Slow today. Come on now. Okay. Once the non-competition events window pops up, your school will be populated right here. So the event publisher for me is Prince William County Schools. Yours would be Bevel Middle, Gravely Elementary, Mountain View. That would show up here. That's a required field. You would scroll down and select what type of activity. You can select whatever you want. I'll just do news. You can also specify if, let's say, two schools are doing a production together. You can sort of tag another school so that when you produce your event on their portal, because you'll have your own video portal that will have all of your events on it, and I'll show you that. On their portal, it will also show that particular event. So like in Brian Simpson's case, when we produced the Battle of the Brains in the spring, and there's multiple schools involved, he could actually stream that event, but tag all the other schools, Stonewall, some of the other schools that participate. And it will also show up on their portal. Event date, we could schedule today, 10/22. Time would be, let's say, 9:05. Time zone, Eastern. City, it can be anything. I'm just going to put Man for Manassas, or location to be determined. You would select whether you wanted to stream live or just do on-demand only. If you selected on-demand only, it would just record your video onto the laptop and you could upload it to the web later or choose not to upload it. Or you could do live and on-demand together. I'll just do live. You can also make an event unlisted so it doesn't appear on the site. So if your principal wanted to do a message specifically to the student body and she didn't want it to be accessible by anybody outside in the outside world, you would select that button. It wouldn't show up on the portal, and then you would have a specific link that you could share to go directly to that live stream. Also, you would add, if you wanted to add a specific title, I'm just going to repeat and just say news. We don't need to do another description. I'm going to click submit. I think I have 5 minutes left, so I'm going to probably have to be wrapping up here pretty quickly, but, oh, great. Okay, well, I'm going to go to live stream now. Actually, producer's already running. I'm going to select, that was me this morning at 1:35 working on this. Let me refresh. Of course. Live stream. Advanced. Go. Okay, now the event that I just selected is there. I'm going to select that. Put in my contact name, which is required, but it can be pretty much anything. See if it'll. What you can do is schedule out as many events as in the future as you want. If you want to start streaming, yes, you will have to log in, select the event, and then proceed on through. I know it's a little bit cumbersome, but if you knew you were going to do morning news every day at 9:05, you could go in anytime and create as many events as you want all the way through the future. Then all you have to do would be to log into this producer application and then find your event and then stream. Let's see if it won't let me. 703, 791, 7416.
So to clarify that, you say you can create all the events at one time.
Yes.
On a daily basis, since you are streaming at 9:05,
Mhm.
you have to log in at that point and do exactly what you just did to play that.
Yes.
So daily. So that
Daily.
is a daily thing.
That part is a daily. Logging into producer, selecting the event that you had pre-scheduled, and then going forward, that would be a daily operation. This screen is just. Somehow the resolution on this thing is like really whacked out, so we're not seeing the whole screen. But essentially what happens is you would see your camera footage in this left screen here. The right screen is sort of a slate coming up saying your event will begin momentarily. There is a way for you to customize that, make your own video and say Mountain View News is coming up next. And what happens is this plays until you actually do what's called go on air. And that's where you would see your camera footage. And I think my camera died. It did. There it is.
What is the schedule for 9:05, but we don't actually start until 9:15?
This message, well, the one that says coming up next will continue to play until you actually go live. And I think it has a timeout period of about an hour. If you don't go live, it automatically stops the event.
But that's assuming that you logged in as producer?
Yes.
Okay, if you don't log in as producer and you log in at 9:15,
It'll say the event hasn't started yet. If you haven't logged into producer and the portal shows that you have something that should be playing, it'll just say event hasn't started yet, please stand by. Then when you No. And then once you log in, it'll switch to, when you click on Start Stream, that's when that message coming up next will show up. Yes?
so if your teachers are sitting there going, it's 9:15 and they're looking at it, it's going to give them the same message as if it hasn't started yet?
Yes. Yeah. And by the way, and this will make a lot more sense when you go through the tutorial, there is a link that you can share with your staff, or you can even include it into your School Fusion page so that they know every single day if they go to School Fusion and click on whatever, it'll automatically take them to the portal page. Let me show you what that page is now, because I know I need to wrap up here. By the way, AJ, when do you want them to pick up the gear? Like when they're finished with their 11:15? Okay. Okay, good. I can't see anything on this thing with the resolution. All right. Oh, come on. Can't type. Okay, for some reason, like I said, the resolution on this is really whacked out, but I'm going to go to Bevel Middle School. they've already put in all of the schools in the system. So anybody could browse out to the web if they go to playonsports.com, www.playonsports.com. They could search for a school. I'm doing Bevel. They have some events they've already produced on here. Back to school slideshow. Oh, this was really cool, Brian. I saw this at 1:30 this morning. Brian Simpson at Bevel had produced this video, how to have remote access from home into your system. So this can also be used for instructional or demo videos. I don't think I've got the sound plugged up, but. So that's an example. He produced that content with a third-party application, and staff at their school can tune in and learn how to remote access into the school system to do grades or whatever it is they have to do. There was another one I saw too. I think it was. Who in here already has a system and has news like from yesterday that I can check? Anybody in here? I saw one at 1 o'clock this morning. I just don't remember which school it was. Patriot? Go. Oh, sorry. So they have football, soccer. Okay. Oh, there's news. October 21st. Let's see what they did yesterday. Audio. Epic fail.
Attention all interested in wrestling
All right, there is audio there, by the way.
meeting on Wednesday, October 22nd in Coach Foley's room at 12:14.
So anyway, that's an example of news.
Physical and concussion prone at that time.
Yeah, this was produced yesterday. I don't know if they did it live or not, but you did it live and then uploaded it for on demand, and it showed up on their portal page. Each school will have their own customized portal page that's already set up by PlayOn, and that's where you would direct your viewers to watch your video feeds.
But then we record ours the day before,
Okay,
and then they play it the next day.
okay. Let me, so you already have some on there?
I have no idea, but like, where's it?
Okay.
Do we know when the portals are already, or will we be getting that information later?
That information should be coming through to an email to you from, I think it's support@playonsports.com. The information you give me today when you pick up your system, whatever email address you list, that's what I'm going to give to PlayOn, and you will receive, I'm hoping today, it may be tomorrow, your login credentials to actually get you into the system once you log into Producer or into the Manager application. Let me show one more, and then I think I've got to wrap up. And just another note, I'm going to go back to this capture device. Some schools have decided they wanted to purchase a video mixer, like a video switcher, so that they can have multiple cameras and then have that output go into here. You can do anything you want with a video switcher, green screen, there's all that type of capability. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up because I know I'm a little bit over. We're still streaming. Stop stream. Once you stop the stream, it would give you the option to upload to on demand. Of course, I can't see that option because of the resolution on this monitor. Upload later, done. So when you get the systems and you start to use them, feel free to reach out to me with questions. I'm going to lean on you guys to really look at those tutorials. We were hoping to have sort of an on-site person to give a demo or tutorial, but with scheduling and trying to get everybody together, it just didn't happen. But their tutorials online are very intuitive, so it would most of the kids that use these are elementary that use these systems, so the kids pick up on it really quickly. So, any questions before I kind of wrap up? Yes.
What is your email address in case we do that?
Oh boy, email address. It's drwaltz@pwcs.edu. No, it's Young JB, YOUNG. J is in John, B is in Bravo. Or you can find me if you look me up in email in Outlook. I think it's Bart B. Young, even though that's really not my name. That's just the way it shows up. It's John B. Young, but for some reason it shows up as Bart B. Young. So you can find me there too. That's not what I wanted. I wasn't given a choice. Yeah.
You wanted to be known by Bart, sometime in the past, so we just went through.
Okay, Susan, enough out of you. You're out of here, aren't you? I know, she don't care. I got till Thursday, yeah. All right, so anyway, that's the system. I know it'll make a lot more sense when you get back and you can spend your own time going through it at your own pace. Please reach out to me. I'll do my best to return your emails in a timely response, even the ones that have emailed me 2 weeks ago that I still haven't responded to. Now that we've got the systems out, I'll have more time to concentrate individually on everybody. So that's the deal.
Thank you, Bart.
Yes.